Right, let's get into this one. Ready. I need to. I'm still not well.
Regan.
I keep trying to breathe in and I can't. All right, welcome back to another episode of Spitfire. It is the glorious number 10. A decade of Spitfire has now occurred. That's a real thing. But anyway, let's get into this one. Of course, I am Brice. I'll be bringing you some of the topics for this evening. Joining me, of course, Tunn, who does magical things in the background and tries not to mess it up. But more importantly, our guest for this week and returning now for, I'm going to say maybe the 5th time.
It's fourth, I think. Fourth.
It's his 4th. He's almost been on half of these podcasts. He's, of course, player and now Imperial team, Reedy. Reedy, how are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back. 10th episode. Like, you couldn't have a better guest, really, could you?
Nah, we had to have you back for the 10th. Had to have you back for the 10th.
You had to.
Plus, you haven't been on in a little while. Is that Tunn's doing?
Oh,
well, to be fair, it's just like the time clash of everything. Like, we're scrimming every single day. I mean, we finally had a day off today, my team. Like, it's been like the first time in 4 weeks, maybe.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's just the timing of everything, really. It just doesn't really fit in. I can't really jump on when we're scrimming and stuff. I mean, if I could, I would.
Oh, no, we get, trust me, we've had more than enough trouble getting players on. Like, ridiculously so.
they all want bloody money now as well. I tell you what it is now. What happens to doing your boy a favour, eh?
Well, who asked for money?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Name and shame, man.
I'll tell you that.
In fairness, like, I don't. For me, it's kind of like I get that they're busy a lot of the time,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I think it's just usually a great way to get kind of your opinion out there in a more structured way, and be able to actually kind of, because I think when you tweet, you kind of always kind of get your point across. So if players do want to come on here and talk about it, like, I think that's probably a great way to do it. And I don't mind if a player says, "Hey, I want to cover this topic. Can I come on this week?" Yeah, that's absolutely fine. But we do appreciate it, really. We do appreciate you coming on, saving our bacon.
Yeah, we do.
Let's get straight to the first topic then, because you kind of alluded to it. The final grind, CWL Vegas, is in 1 week. Really, kind of a question for you to begin with. How do you kind of prepare going into these events? Like, what is the general mindset? Because you've had like a couple of months now of practice. You've got your team. I mean, you've had a team changes recently as well.
Not really, but yeah, right. So, start of the game, me, Nevo, Dens, Billy, Steve. Stuff just wasn't working out, so we dropped Nevo, asked Moose to join. Moose being Moose, Mr. Loyal was like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna see it out with my team."
Team Sween.
Team Sween. We played Team Sween in a couple tournaments, dusted them off, and Moose came round. And by this time, we picked up poor our Cammy. And then Moose was like, "Yeah, I want to join." And I was like, "Oh, you put me in a little predicament here, but you was my first option, Moose, so come on." We got Moose in. This is like leading up to Vegas is the most I've personally put in, and I mean, it might sound a bit weird considering I've been a pro for 4 years.
Yeah.
But this is the most I've put in, like, to a game. Like, normally some people say I've got commitment issues and that, like, in the past, and my attitude was shit.
Yeah, they have said that, and they would be right. I know.
Yeah, no,
like,
they would 100% be right. But leading up to Vegas, like, at the end of the day, probably could possibly be my last team if I don't make the Pro League. So I'm just making sure myself, I'm putting as much time in as I can in terms of scrimming and stuff like that. I'm kind of slacking off on a pub grind and stuff like that, but I'm just bored of pubs. So it's the most confident I've been in a team in a long time in terms of after playing, looking over VOD review. Every day there's improvements. Like, there's not been a day that we've not come on and, like, not improved on a certain hill, on a certain map, on a certain game type. So really looking forward to Vegas. It's going to be a good event for us. I mean,
a lot of pressure, though. A lot of pressure.
Nah, there's no pressure, man. Like, honestly, we've all been there, done it before. Maybe not Dens, but he's just little Belgium scrub, isn't he? But I'm full confidence, but I'm very excited for it.
Now, first of all, congratulations on Imperial. I know you've been looking for an org for a while.
Yeah, stressed.
But you finally found a home.
Yep.
Because every time I see Imperial mentioned, everyone goes, "That Chris Marsh's org." It's different from that now, right? Like, it's.
I believe Ollie bought out Chris Marsh.
Years
and years ago. So it is originally So Chris's org, but
Yeah.
Ollie's come in and done massive things with him. I mean, even like the UKCS scene, they're pretty massive, to be honest. And when they had a Dota team, the Dota team was very good. It's just the times they've come into COD, they've not had such great success. So hopefully we can spin that round for them. I mean, well, we are going to spin that round for them.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, and this is just me being harsh because I know you so well. Like, there's been a lot of negativity towards your team and your teammates in regard to last year. How has that kind of been from your point of view? Because from my point of view, like, I have to be a little bit like removed judging your team and go on the results and stuff. And for me, even I'm like you definitely were in that top level, and you were in the Pro League twice, right? Like, you don't get to do that if you're not good enough. The results of the Pro League weren't great, but you did beat pro teams, which, you know, some teams just wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
But it does seem to have people's opinions of you like a negative.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, to be honest with you, it's granted. They're like, if they think we're shit because of last year, they can think that. I'm not gonna go out here and say, oh, last year, rah 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 rah. Generally, was a shit situation. The game was fucking awful. I didn't enjoy the game. I did, like, you can say what you want. I personally,
we made it
my
how far
opinion,
into 10 minutes in? We made it 10 minutes in.
personally, my opinion, that game was by far the worst COD in 7 years.
I could not disagree with you more there. Like, I honestly cannot. Like, we argue about it all. I like WW2, but we will let's get away from complaints about that and let's talk about your team now.
Oh, so
because...
like, going around, that game was awful. People want to judge us off that game. That's fine. You can judge us off this game. If I've streamed all scrims leading up to Vegas, people would be fucking mind blown because we are fucking hitting some serious form.
And what
I mean,
I mean, for me, I totally give you a free pass on that one anyway, because last year you came into something that was already failing. And you know,
not failed.
Yeah, well,
yeah, failed.
You came in a really bad situation, so you for me got no negativity on that one. And obviously, it was just the team didn't work. We've seen everybody in that team, for the most part, have good time. Like in IW specifically, probably, you know, Steve-O was very good in that game. Hokie was very good in that game. Dave was very good in that game. But obviously, something just didn't work. That was it. This happens. And I think you came into a situation that wasn't working, so it was never gonna work, really, was it? It just seemed to nothing got better, and I don't pin that on you whatsoever. I think.
I mean, you can throw it around and be like, why are people gassing up Steph and Krim? Right, they got rid of two of their players, but they were fucking awful in the last game. You know what I mean? Well, Steph was a good friend of mine, but he was fucking awful. But like, no, they pick up Dashy and TJ. TJ was brilliant. Dashy hasn't even hit a top 16. I've hit a top 16 like last year. Like, come on, man. Like, but they're dubbed like one of the best in the team. Well, like, I mean, yeah, they're playing sick online. Don't get me wrong. They probably are going to do very well. But like, people's just got different opinions on certain players. Like, I'm always going to have that persona about me. Like, really shit. Rah rah rah.
People are fickle. They like to.
You are slightly Marmite, really. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a fan, but people tend to have mixed opinions, which is fine, right? You've always said that's kind of been that way. I think you and Rated are very similar in that regard.
Yeah,
like, Rated doesn't mind, you know.
Reese is a lot more established than me. I mean, I think before I used to be more. I calmed myself down when I started like falling off, to say. But fair play to Reese, man. He's kept true to his like himself. Like, he will say it how he sees it every single day of the week, and that's what I love about the geezer. That's why he's one of my best friends. He's just very honest about every situation. If I ask him for a bit of advice, he'll hit me with the honesty 9 times out of 10. In fact, 10 times.
That's what I like. I like that in players, right? Like, for me, it's you can't all be the vanilla allié.
Boring, mate.
You know what I mean?
It's fucking boring.
Like, so I kind of like that, but. I think it's interesting going into this, seeing how people are kind of valuing teams and going forward, because the final week coming in now, people are trying to put their hard predictions down. And I said this before at the start of the year, and I'll say this again. Analyzing this game right now is very, very difficult.
Super difficult.
We've moved to a 5v5 format. We've had roster mania. We've only got 2Ks to go on. Like, right now, people are putting Optic on a pedestal, but like if they come top 3, people are going to slate them.
Which is bad, isn't it, really? Because, I mean, I said, you look at that roster, you made that point, really. The fact that And like we had this discussion last week with Miles. I am like, one of the things that worries me about that roster is Dashi, because yes, okay, he's looked insane online. The kid is obviously very, very good, but
Get Nameless in here.
He's never been in that top 3 situation where he's had to go up against top guys in grand finals, in winners finals. So I mean, that's the question mark. That's the question mark around him, that he has to prove that he can do that. But
I mean, he is a fucking talent. There's no doubt in his ability. He is a fucking good player.
Yeah.
Well, should we get another opinion? Can we get Nameless in here? Like,
Yeah,
can you sort that out?
Hold on.
I'm happy Nameless to come in. Like I said before, this is not a strict podcast as people think it is. Just come in. But no, I agree. Like there is like so much pressure on that team right now. Like especially like Dashi. Like he's been gassed up massively, and fair play. If he hits the mark, like already his name is going to be unbelievable, because that's all he needs now. Like you've built up this. Like he has a structure here. Now just needs to put a roof on it for it to be for his house in COD, right? Like if he does the business of Vegas, that's it. Like everyone's gonna be like, straight on him. Like straight on him. That's it.
Reese.
You know, that's the thing. I generally think Dashi's a talent, like especially in S&D. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's just like I know we can't compare Imperial to Optic, like my team to them. It literally can't do that right now.
Yeah.
If we go and do a number at Vegas, then maybe, you never know. But that's what annoys me about COD supporters.
There he is.
Good, Ant.
Hello.
That's good, bro.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I saw you guys streaming. I was like, you know what? I feel like chatting.
Yeah, 100%. We've always said kind of just jump in. We're not too worried about the flow of it. But we're just currently talking about Dashi at the moment, and Rated's got me howling in the chat because he's he just put some stuff on him. But like we're talking about the pressure on Dashi. Like he's probably not going to feel it because he's sitting along goats, right? But there's so much like hype around him because of how Optic have been performing, and all the fans from last year have been like, last year was terrible for the fans. It just kept getting worse. They couldn't fix it. Like a lot of fans are now kind of like looking at this team like, oh, good, it's the era of Optic again. They're expecting straight wins. They're expecting straight carnage. They don't even want close games. They just want back to the Optic winning ways.
Yeah, and I don't think that's ever gonna happen again, dude. Being honest.
I
think they'll win. Like I think that team's good enough to win, but like dominating, that's just not gonna happen. Like no. Like right now, especially with the way that these teams are formed, I don't think one team is going to be able to win more than 2 events in a row. And if I see a team with 2 events in a row, I'll be pretty mind blown, especially with like the way this game's played right now. I mean, I guess we're really going to have to see like at Vegas who's dominant on land. But like at the moment, I can't see any team just destroying every single team, every event, and just winning in succession. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think we're past that stage of like AW and IW where there was just a dominant team.
Yeah, there's too much competition.
Every team now, with it moving to 5v5, so topside heavy. So any of the 6 teams could possibly win, and then even then you've got the like lesser teams like Space's team, my team, and that. Like there's always an opportunity. Never gonna say go out on the limb and say fucking one of them two are gonna win the event, but it's the competition right now is just like at an all-time high in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, there's an argument for both ways in this, right? You can say that 5v5 could technically make a team more consistent because there's less chance of a player kind of letting the side down because there's more players kind of balance it out. But at the same time, there's more variables in a 5v5. So you're not always going to be able to kind of dictate the way you engage as much because there's so much more going on in the map, especially in this game. Like,
I'd say
some of the hard points I've been seeing going off, like there are times when it's just absolute carnage.
I'd say that my main reasoning would be that the teams that were formed are just really good. There's so much talent on all these teams. Like when you have 5v5 and you have these good teams already going into the game, and you pick up another all-star player, it's very top heavy, right? In terms of talent, like let's ignore the placings in all these tournaments, right? Other than the outlier being Optic that's been dominating. Let's ignore all these placings in these tournaments where all these teams are just super stacked, right? They have so much talent. Like look at LG, look at Heart Thieves, look at Optic, EU, even them. Like there's just so many teams with so much talent that like I don't think any team's gonna reign and dominate multiple events. It's gonna be too hard. Like even Splice, for example, they're a team that nobody's talking about. Like I browse the Reddit, I look on Twitter, I don't see many people talking about Splice. But like look at the talent on that team, and then like they're super low key. They haven't streamed anything. They're super low key, and they're one of my like favorites at the event. Like I think they're one of the better teams in the top. So like the thought of us a team just winning every event is pretty preposterous to me. But I mean, it can happen. It's just not. COD's not like that anymore. Like even last year, it's so hard for Rise to be consistent. Like at champs, they dropped out. It's too difficult.
Yeah, I can see that. Like for me, I think what Reedy said there is that teams, it may become more top heavy towards the top teams. Like I've always spoke about tiers in previous years. Like how are the tiers of these teams? And we see the elite teams kind of separate themselves and stuff. But for me, I think we're probably going to see like an even bigger kind of striation go through. Like we're going to see like the top 6 or the top 8 are just going to be absolutely miles above the rest of the teams, just because all that talent didn't. When we were at 5v5, it didn't split up. It didn't go everywhere. It seemed to condense. It seemed to push teams upwards.
I think
which is why now we're like there are so many stacked teams. So I don't know whether or not we could be just seeing, maybe it'll balance itself at some point. But I think we could be just seeing like a big leap at somewhere. I just don't know where that somewhere is yet.
I think we're going to see a ton of meta changes in this game. Like, because you have all these talented teams. Like right now, Optic probably has like they probably have the best understanding of the game at the moment. Yeah. But I think we're going to see like some teams, like if a team starts dominating, you know, the meta always changes. They start copying how they practice, what they do, how they play, and I think we're going to see a lot of meta changes during this game, especially if there's patches and updates and stuff. And there'll be like eras because there's like certain teams where obviously like the meta is going to be better for them, right? Like if there's ever a submachine gun buff in this game, like LG would be so good, or a team like EU would become so much better. Like there's just, I think we'll see a ton of meta changes, and there'll be like eras in the game where a team's just really good, or certain teams are really good.
And that doesn't even like take into account that like teams are still going to be hiding stuff, like ways to play stuff that just hasn't really come out yet. And we might.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we've always. It's not like they're going to have some secret super strat. It's more that teams are like surprisingly good at something. Like you go into the event, and at the end of the event, you realize that the team didn't drop a single control the entire event. You didn't expect it going in. Like they just had to be very, very good, and that happens most of the time when we come to these first events.
Yeah, you know what,
like,
I think
it's just way better at something than anyone expected.
I think that control over the year could change as well, because it's a completely brand new game mode, and I know there's only so much about it, but we'll see certain teams play it a good way, and then there'll be a lot of teams who are very, very good at it, and then people will start changing the way they play control as well, because it's so new.
I notice everybody does the same thing in control right now. It's like it's like a mind game, but not really, because it's one of those things where. Like we saw this in Black Ops 3, like the way I compare is like Ban and Protect. It was like a mind game in the beginning, and then everybody did the same thing halfway through the game. Everybody banned the same stuff. It's like in Control, everybody goes to the same sites off the rip. Everybody plays for kills. Later in the game, whoever utilizes their grav spikes or their specialist better win that round. It's kind of really simple. So maybe somebody will figure something out soon that'll give them an edge. But like right now, I think Control, it's a good game mode. It's entertaining. It's competitive, but it's the biggest toss-up for me because I feel like anybody can win a Control. Like, and anyone can, like in terms of the top teams, like a random team's not going to beat Optic in Control, but like the top teams, like it's just a big play. You're one big play away from map control. What?
If you get defense on Arsenal, you'll fucking probably beat them, because anyone can win that shit.
Yeah, but you're literally one big play away from winning Control versus any team. Like 1 3-piece and you got map control. It's like
that's the thing with Control. You're right. You can literally be cruising the whole game, solid, looking very, very good, and you drop 3 or 4 kills, and suddenly it's like it's game on. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen a couple of complaints by the pros, but about Control and that sort of thing. I've seen
all
a lot
the time.
Yeah, that's very true
about everything.
But at the same time, I think it's really entertaining to watch. It's I think it's going to be probably a favorite towards the end of the year. Hardpoint's a bit hectic at the moment, but I think that might change as well as the game develops. But yeah, Control, big fan so far.
So we've kind of moved slightly off of topic here from where we were originally because I also wanted to bring up the point, like this is the last week before Vegas, right? I saw something about Optic streaming less on the run up for here. I'm not sure how true that is. I've seen obviously a few teams have now moved out to America. I think Reciprocity and Red Reserve are now out there. How is that going to affect them in the final week? I don't know how much like goes into that final week for a team, especially when an event like this big. For me, this is like right now second in my mind to only chance, just because how important it is for some of these teams. We're talking like automatic Pro League qualification, like it sets up their entire year. Like, it's very serious. Like, if you're a pro player, you've got to be feeling it right.
Well, there's a lot of like, so outside of the obvious stuff that everybody can look at, it's like there's just a ton of pressure at this event because, like, from a pro player standpoint, a lot of these guys negotiated a lot higher salaries this year and like have promised to perform at a level that, like, going to a new game you can't be sure of. So it's like there's a ton of pressure and everybody can't do well. So there's like these teams this last week, especially up until now, I haven't seen anybody playing 10s. I haven't seen, very many people like stream their scrims lately just because, they're trying to hide, their strats and stuff. But like there's so much pressure. These teams have to like put this last effort in this week. I feel like the last few weeks teams have been a little bit like lackluster, like in terms of, like, I haven't seen anybody playing 10s, no one. And that's something that I was talking to Hook about. He was really worked up about it. He's like, dude, nobody plays 10s. I get off and everybody's playing Blackout. Like, he's just talking about the whole pro scene in general. So
I have seen a lot of that recently.
Everybody's going to be playing 10s after this event. Everyone. Because that's the only way you can get practice outside of scrims. It's literally the only way. You can't just grind Destiny in this game. It's not going to give you practice like by yourself.
And you're not even playing the right rules if you try grind Destiny.
Yeah, and
websites.
Specialists and all that stuff brings a completely different aspect to it. So you cannot practice it solo dolo. So we'll see. But there's so much pressure on these teams. Like, it's gonna be wild, dude.
I think you're right with what you said there. Like, I've heard quite a few teams have negotiated pro league placings, like in their contracts. That's in there. Like, either going to get a pay bump if they make it, or the contract changes if they make. Like, they have clauses. I've spoken to players who have clauses for that pro league.
Yep, a lot of people have that.
So if you see, like, you could see a lot of emotion in this event just because they know, like, it's not just making the pro league. It's like, yeah, in previous times maybe you made the pro league, like, yeah, bump myself up, yeah, it's great. But here it's like, you make the pro league, or you could just, like, your revenue could just be cut severely.
Yeah, and you got people coming for your spot now. Like, dude, you look at some of these top teams, quote, that aren't really performing too well. You got Spacely's team looking for an org. They're going to the event without an org. So if your team gets destroyed, like, if I'm an org owner, I'm going, dude, I'm just gonna pick these guys up. Like, this is my play. Like, this is what I would do.
They've done the right thing in that aspect, though, haven't they? Because they've probably been trying to command a certain fee, but then they're expected to do fairly well. I mean, we'll see, of course, but at the same time, if they do well, then they are in such a good position to.
Well, there's two ways you can approach it if you're Spacely's team. You go, yo, I want to get paid. Like, I don't really know how good this team is, so I kind of want to get an org just so I'm less stressed, right? It might make us play better. Or you can go, you know what, fuck this. Let's put in more time than everybody. Let's grind. And let's take a risk. We go to the event, we go off, like, then we have everybody looking at us because there's going to be some top teams that they get shit on. There's going to be some orgs that want a really good team. So it's a high risk but high reward. Otherwise, you put yourself in a situation where you're getting a lower salary than every other team. You're not on the best team you'd want, and that creates unhappiness.
I think,
and that makes your team play better. That makes your team play better when you're like fighting for something like that.
Yeah, you're literally fighting for your livelihood at this point, aren't you? That's what Vegas is going to be for a lot of people. I think Reedy said it when he started. Like, if you don't qualify for Pro League, then what sort of career is there? For
I ain't sitting there flying to America to play.
Whoa. Well, this year, no, you can't say that already. This year, it's
bro. I'll be on the bins again, bro. Before I fly to the bracket, I will tell you that.
No. It's different this year, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I don't like about it. That's what I don't like about it. I ain't there to just dump on fucking some kid called Spoofs and that. Fuck
Dude,
that. I want to be going up against the best.
You're thinking way too short term, though, man. Like, it's like there's steps to it. Like, dude, all right, for anybody in here who's like an AM or something, if you're watching, this year there's a prize pool for the open bracket. If you place what's 75K or something like that, if you place well, you're getting paid. And like people are gonna be like watching that, like orgs gonna be watching. They're gonna pick up teams from the open bracket and vet them for the future. It's cheaper to pick up an open team than it is to pick up a shitty North American team that nobody's gonna watch. I would rather.
Nah, bro.
And the reason orgs are gonna look at teams like that is because you pick up those players and then you sell them to bigger orgs, and that's like you get. Like they're gonna look at teams in the open. Like it's being on like a shitty.
You're tripping,
team.
Bro.
No, I'm not tripping. That shit's gonna be.
What happens next year? What happens next year? There's all this talk
do you
about
know? I don't know.
franchising. There's all this talk about franchising.
Yeah, but nothing's confirmed. Really,
Okay,
nothing's confirmed.
wait. What do you mean? What happens next year? Okay, so then say it does get franchised in next year, and then you just said, "Fuck this! I'm not going to play an open at all." Then you have no chance of even being a sub.
But you're not even going to be a.
chance.
Why would I aspire to be a sub when I know I'm better than the majority of these
Okay,
players?
it steps to it, bro. Like
You
the
gotta
NBA
earn that
players
shit.
sometimes go to the G
Fuck
League.
that. Fuck
It's
that.
earned, not given. Like
Listen, at the end of the day, yeah, that open bracket is a bad idea in my eyes.
you're delusional.
No, bro, you're delusional. At the end of the day, any COD player, yeah, that wants to go to an event, wants to play against the best, prove themselves against the best. Turning up.
Okay,
to an
I
event-
can't just show up to the fucking NBA and play against LeBron. Like it doesn't work like that. Like, dude, players start in the G. Some players start in the G League. Like, dude, it's a proving ground. It's that's something that's important. I think that's a step in the right direction.
I can see like
it's a way to
both
vet
sides.
talent.
It's just to jump in before people, unfortunately nobody's swinging in a podcast, but I can see both sides. I can see like Reedy's side. He's saying like there's a level like he aspires to be, and below that level, it's just not the same game for him. And I think that's like from the competitive edge, right? All these players, like I know a pro player when they're coming toward the end of their career because they don't take losses the way they take them at the start of their career. And you can honestly, if you watch players how they take losses, you know how much fire they really have. And Nameless, same thing. Like he says, we all believe there's even bigger things coming for God. Like I've spoken about it many, many times, right? There is.
I mean, they've spoken about it, right? In their quarterly releases, they talk about franchising
it's
all
not
the
like a
time.
big secret. Like for me,
It's a matter of when.
yeah,
it's a matter of when. I get where you're coming from. Like the open bracket could be good for different players. Like taking me out of it, I would not aspire to be like a top am in that because I know when it goes to franchising, I ain't gonna have a fucking.
Yeah, but you're the 1% of the 1%, right? There's like literally less than like a handful of players that in a situation I was in last year that are like talent enough to be in like a pro league, but like just don't get on a team. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's only a handful of players and people in that type of situation, and you can't cater to everybody. It's not going to be perfect to everybody. But if there's only 20 of us, people like that, like you can't cater to them. Like somebody is going to have to hold some sort of L. Like it's just how it is for everything to be great.
So what was wrong with the old way? Like what was actually wrong?
I mean, I
with
think
the
there
old
wasn't
way?
a spotlight on open bracket, and there was nothing to. If you're an AM, you can't even make money.
We've got a spot like this event in the open bracket. There's an open stream for once.
There'll probably be an open stream at the rest of the events as well.
Yeah,
That's the idea, I think. Anyway,
I don't know.
Do you know what it seems like to me? And this is going back to franchise. Do you know what it looks like? Like they're teeing up again. And I know we've banged on about this in previous podcasts, but like, because I've heard nothing official. I've seen the quarterly reports, like everybody has. Like it's no secret at this point that this has been mentioned. But it's looking more and more similar to like Overwatch and Divisions and all that sort of stuff that goes through. Like, and I get like it's been an argument in COD for years. New players need exposure. Same argument that pros have had. They don't want to play AM players because it's not worth their time. But AM players like, how do we prove ourselves? There has to be degrees. You have to force that degree in at some point. Because if you don't, like you're just going to have players that disenfranchise. So you have to have that run up.
I'm just going to compare it back to Vegas 2 years ago, Bryce. When my team was Shawnee, Watson, and Zedja. We were EUMs at that stage, yeah. We went to Vegas, went through open bracket, done a number, went into pool play, beat who was Slasher on IW now? The MV team, I think it was. They were pretty they weren't the best, but like we beat them. We started showing our worth. We went last map with Cloud9, who came second at the event. We should have beat Optic and not lose a bracket. Like I don't get that chance anymore, or any of the other AM players get that chance with the new system, and that's what I don't like about it.
But here's how it works: when it gets to a franchise situation, and there's teams and franchise owners, the players aren't really going to be making these decisions on who they're picking up. And if they need to pick up a player, you're going to have rosters of more than fucking 5 people or whatever it is. Excuse my language, and you're going to end up picking up. They're going to end up picking up players from like a challenger series or something like that. So it's sort of like a mini version of that. And if you're dominating that, and they go, whoa, Reedy's won the last 2 open events, and he was going off at this one and played well at this one. Be like, let's pick him up and see what he's like and vet him a little bit. And then bang, you end up on a team. That's how it's.
I understand that if it was any other
scenario and how they want it to be. I would assume.
I'd understand that if it was any other esport than COD. Like on Overwatch, that shit works. On League of Legends, that shit works. But on COD, it's too
Why?
naive or like because the players ain't gonna have it, man.
Why?
I know for a fact some of the players.
Let's say there's a 12-team franchise league, and there's just like I don't know 100 players, whatever, in the franchise league, right? Why does it matter like what teams are formed if it's 100 best players in the world? You get what I'm saying? And then out of the Challenger Series, or whatever they call it, they pick up more talented players. It's just a talent pool of players. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree with it. Like it works in Overwatch, it works in League.
It just works in theory in any competitive like aspect.
I just feel like COD players aren't ready for that aspect of a manager just saying, right, you're playing with him, even if you fucking hate him.
I've had this argument for years. I've said this for absolute years, and I am convinced. I'm actually it is going to happen, and I'll tell you why it's going to money.
Oh no, it's definitely. You can't tell somebody 100%, but
some millionaire owner is just not going to give a shit about who you are.
You can't say I'm not going to play. Like what?
Yeah, he's just going to be like, okay, sit on the bench. I'll get somebody else.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You have to know that line. COD players for years haven't had that because, like, if you take like college football, I've been watching college American football for a little while now. Trying to figure out what it is. But like you see that respect ingrained from that sport going all the way into the pros. Like it starts and goes into the pros because there's none of that structure here in Call of Duty. Like and players make the calls. Like it's going to be a really shocking transition. But when you've got somebody who's giving you a paycheck every month and he's paying for you and he's paying all this stuff out, and don't get me wrong, they're paying to use you, right? They're paying to use your face, your brand, and your skills. But at the same time, they are still putting that money in your pocket. You are going to lose that ability to dictate your own terms.
Yeah, you can influence, but you don't control.
Majority. Yeah. Like you can dictate your terms before you get into that team, absolutely fine. But as soon as you've signed and agreed, your rights are what you agreed to.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like it is now where a player just makes a fucking like mockery of they're trapping whatever. It's not going to be like that. Like it's not going to be anywhere close. They're going to be paying you, and that millionaire is not going to give a shit whether you don't want to play or not, unless you're the absolute star of the team. Yeah. Like you're just going to have to make it work, or you're sitting on the damn bench. Like that's how it's going to be.
I think another one of the
sitting there a Scumpy and fucking my man, the owner of Optic, like bought in franchise and like, oh yeah, Marky B's been doing sick, man. You can go play with Marky B. Could you imagine Seth being happy with that?
Well, I mean, he's got to make smart decisions, obviously, or it's not going to work. But like.
It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna change. Like,
yeah, and I think
it's gonna be difficult.
One of the other reasons that they've done it was because yes, okay, there is that odd occasion where somebody will come all the way from open, get in the pools, and they'll do bits, and that's why it's like that for Vegas because there's still going to be opportunity for teams who maybe haven't had the pro points from last year to have an opportunity to still do well in Vegas. But after the cutoff, when there's not going to be that opportunity to go into pools, half the reason that they've probably done it is because Saturday mornings were trash. I mean, we were sitting there commentating over constant open teams coming into pools and they were getting bodied every single time, and it wasn't great to watch. I'll be honest with you, people were getting 3-0'd all over the place. There is obviously the odd occasion where they would come into pools and be like, yeah, okay, we'll have some good games. I mean, for instance, was it Ghost and I can't remember which one it was. It was like when they came into pools and did really well. I think it was like.
I mean, it's happened plenty of times.
It's happened, but it doesn't happen.
I want to say like
it's happened plenty of times, but it's random. It's like once a season.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
And when that shit happens, it's a team that shouldn't even be in open that ends up in open because of the beginning of the year qualification process. Which this year they nailed it, by the way, in my opinion, using cumulative pro points from last year. Like everybody has a chance. Like I think to start the season, what Reedy's saying is good, but in the middle of the season, there's no need for pro players to have to play AM players every couple months.
Because there's always that. It's the Saturday. It's the middle of the Saturday, and I hate it. I don't get me wrong. I love watching Call of Duty, but it's always that like beginning of a Saturday, and we're watching like Optic just basically just kick a puppy across the main stage. Yeah. They 3-0'd them. What a surprise! Should we analyze that one? Yeah, they got smashed. Great. Let's move on to the next game.
It's happened every single time they've said, "All right, Tom, we've got you an alpha on Saturday morning." Oh, great! What game have I got? Optic against like it's some trash team. And it's like, God damn it! And it's just it does get like that. And I think that's one of the reasons they'll look at the broadcast and they have to sell the broadcast. Nobody wants to sit there and watch people. Dude. Get rinsed.
We miss shit too. Like we miss runs because like there's so many matches of that stuff going on. Like we miss, like I remember when Rise went on the losers bracket run, and like only like 3 of the matches were streamed total, and it was like towards the end. Like we missed so much of that story because like there's so much shit going on, like and to like separate open from the champ bracket, I think is just like a step in the right direction for the fans too.
Yeah. Now you have our pretty British faces on there instead. We'll be the open team guys. Amateur casters for the amateur players.
Yeah, I'm not even in the amateur caster. But no, I think because people like, here's the thing, like you always see the complaints about like, oh, we're not on stream enough, we're going to be on stream more. Like you can only have so many on stream because like it's also because they're open. Like not a lot of esports do these kind of events like at all. Okay, like Gears do it, and so does Halo. You don't see like a CS:GO open. Like that's not a thing. Like you don't see CS:GO open
teams.
LAN.
They invite you, and then they go, "You are the 8 teams that are going to give me the most views, so you have a chance to win 500 grand. Let's get it."
And even then, like they use different formats. Like it's I've seen single elims and stuff, so you get less games, so you can all be on.
Yeah, those guys just show up and play whatever they're given.
Yeah, and they like I've seen best of 1, best of 3s. Like it's lower. Like and they've complained about that in CS:GO for years. They've said
it's exciting.
Yeah, but like COD players hated the single elim so bloody much.
Well, the thing is, like,
I don't mind it, and I don't mind it with vetoes either. I think vetoes helps bring a little of that randomness down.
I mean, the thing is like when you tune into a stream of a tournament, you want to watch like 2 teams that like playing each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like when I go tune into MLG Vegas, the most coveted event coming up, like I want to tune in and see like at least like a EG versus a 100T or something. Yeah. Like I don't want to see people I don't know, especially if they're getting crushed. So unless I'm specifically tuning in to watch a certain AM team, which I can see on an open stream, like I think that's the way to go for sure.
Like I could probably count on my hand the number of good one-sided games I've seen in COD over like a decade. I think, but even then, like it's between famous teams, like because it's great to see a famous team crush another famous team, but like it's not great to see a famous team crush a lower team.
Epsilon Impact, first grand finals in Birmingham when Splice went through LG, went through Rise. They were all good one-sided games.
That Splice LG game was great just because the crowd were going berserk.
Even the game when they played against Rise on the main stage before that, and they smashed them. And games like that are great to watch, but no one is against teams you don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I think Vegas is going to be great. Like it's going to be so much fun to kind of watch this all kick off. New 5v5, new game. People are hyped for this game. It's a tryout game. It's always a good time in the tryout games. I don't care what anybody else says. I've always been a massive fan of them. So I think Vegas is going to be great. And they're trying new stuff. That's a key thing that people don't get as well, right? And it bugs me when they don't get this. You have to try new things in broadcasting. You can't just keep doing the same formula. So they are trying new things.
Bro, imagine if we had the format and the exact amount of events, whatever, as we had last year during Black Ops 3. Wow, it would have been incredible. So that's why I think like this year, like we're gonna have a good league, good format, everything for a really good game, and like that's what I'm just most stoked for.
Yeah, I just wish there was a few more events, man. That's my only complaint about this year, but. I mean, it comes down to budget, that sort of thing. I mean, everyone wants more events. I'd have an event every month, but you just don't. I don't really understand why. But I think if we'd had as many as we had last year, I think that would have been spot on. But
I mean, I'm mostly excited for Pro League. Like, I'm excited for every event, but like I think watching these teams on a consistent basis over time is going to be the best judgment of like.
And that's really you get to know the teams as well, right? Like that's something you don't get at LAN events sometimes. You get to know the team, but you get to know when you see them week in, week out. So I think that's really kind of interesting to see how their story develops. Let's move on because that was the first topic. Let's move on to the second one. The second topic's not very long, but Nameless, fortunately you're here, so I can actually talk to you about it. The CWL have announced their talent roster. Some changes coming in. Pac-Man joins the analysts. You've worked with him.
The national champ, baby.
I think I'm looking forward to it because Pac-Man's quite a funny guy whenever I've spoken to him.
I'm about to roast Pac-Man on the desk. Can't wait to research.
You're allowed to wear hats on the desk.
All right. I hope so.
Broke for his sake. Oh my god.
In all seriousness, he's a really he'll say what's on his mind. Like he's not gonna hold anything back, and he has zero bias. So I really like the addition of John to the desk.
Yeah, I think he's a good addition. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I think he needs a new profile picture of the desk.
Man, we all took headshots and they didn't use a single one of them.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy my headshots of champs at all.
dude. Yeah,
Nah, my
dude,
headshots are still better than the one that they used. Christ.
Dude, Bryce's headshot looks the best on that thing, dude. Ours are.
It's about 5 years old, don't worry.
Whoa, no, it's not. I look the exact same now.
Yeah, that's true.
Except slightly slimmer, if anything. But no, like Pac-Man, I like Pac-Man a bit, but that is a creepy photo.
Yeah,
I've got it out. That is a creepy ass photo. I'm sorry, I like Pac, dude. Like he's like looking into my soul.
Yeah, he was. That picture didn't do him right, bro.
I'm just disappointed that Rich Campbell isn't there. We had good fun with Rich.
I wanted to see the mustache. I said he was gonna grow out, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I miss Rich. I miss Rich. He's streaming, dude. He's trying to stream out.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Katie when I see it on Reddit and stuff like that. But Katie's going to be the host, if I'm right, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes. Because a lot of people because they put her in the analyst column, didn't they? And it was like, is she going to be an analyst? But no, she's not. She's going to be the host.
I think people like the arguments I saw were just ridiculous. It was so circular as well. It just irritated the crap out of me. Like, just don't say anything. Like, why are people saying stuff like, oh, instead of who is this Katie girl? Say, oh, what work has she done in this? Because people are going, oh, what does she know about COD? And I'm like, you don't know. I don't know until I meet her, until we see her work. Like, how are you judging somebody based off of this? Like, you don't know. You have no idea.
Touch on that subject a little bit to a lot of the people on Reddit that I saw saying stuff. Even though, like, they hire new people, like, dude, we've done, like, I live in Columbus. So the rehearsals are done here, so they fly out here. We've done like 5 of those. So like they've worked super hard. So before anybody says anything, you got to give people a chance. Guys, you know what I mean? Like, dude, they've worked super hard. Yeah. Like, and that's something that's, you got to respect it.
Yeah, I think it's like it was such a dumb argument. Like, I like Reddit and I go on Reddit a lot, but that thread I honestly wanted to set fire to. Like,
well, I mean, it's something new. I get it why they say it, but
but I don't get it. Like, people just go like, just ask who this person is, see what they've done. Like, all right, let's see how they get on. Like, people go, oh, they're there instead of this person or this person or this person.
Remember when Lottie first done COD and she got quite a bit of bad backlash, and now look at her, like, she's amazing at what she does. Yeah. I don't know if you even know who she is, and
I don't think
she does Halo in that now.
Yeah.
Anyway, she when she first came to COD and she done that Gfinity event, but a lot of people gave her kind of like, it was kind of
because the thing is,
I think we have a good talent. I think our talent group's good, dude.
Yeah.
We got to remember, like, some of the talent up there, like, it's not an easy thing to step into. You look at the talents up there; they've been doing it for close to a decade. Like, they've been in COD for close to a decade. A lot of them. And you as a newcomer, you got to step into that. Like, for God's sake, give them a little bit of slack.
Yeah,
like just a little bit. Like, give them the benefit of the doubt.
At the same time,
if you don't like them after the event, fine.
Have you met the average COD fan?
Bro, look, yeah, that's true. And then look at everybody. You can go look at everybody when they started, because that's what I did when I started. I went and I looked at everybody in the beginning and to see their improvement, like see what they are bad at, so I could like fix it right away. I went and looked at Merc. I went and looked at Teep. I went and looked at every single person who started talent, and like, nobody is good when they first start, like, in terms of like just straight up talent for COD, because you got to know so much. But I mean, like, I think John, honestly, like, just from rehearsal right away is instantly good. So I don't know, people gotta give people chances.
Once you get on the camera, you change anyway. Like,
yeah, you instantly change. There's things you can't control too sometimes.
Even pro players, I've noticed, change, because over time your mindset starts changing, because you're no longer, like, when you first come into a desk as a pro, obviously you're looking at it from a super pro point of view, but as time goes on, you that gets kind of mixed in with like your personality.
I still kind of look at it like that, low key.
Yeah, but I think you don't have the same like super in depth. Like, you can't have that 1% knowledge you had as a pro when like 3 years later, because like you're not playing scrims every day.
Well, like right now,
it's a slight difference.
Yeah, that's a concern. That's a concern of mine, is trying to figure out the game to the level of that I've known it when I played it on a daily basis scrimming. But like, I was worried about it before the year, not that the year started, because now I just watch streams and learn. And to be honest, watching some of these fools, I think I know the game better than some of these guys.
Yeah, but
like the first week, dude, I was watching scrims, and the second week I was like, wait, where the fuck's this next hill at? And I was like, oh shit.
Honestly,
that's always the worry walking into an event. Like,
I think
Well, it's
like
the first event. Nobody's gonna really fucking know the game.
You can just make it up first event. Just
oh
say
yeah,
whatever you want.
100%. But I think like for me last year, when you're commentating at every event, that helps so much. Like especially when you're specifically watching and saying the words and stuff like that and talking about it afterwards. That's when you start to understand it so much more. I think towards the end of the year,
after the event, everybody will have this shit. Like even the players, you improve ridiculously at an event. Like Reedy knows, dude. When you go to that first event after the event, you're like, wow, I wish I knew this shit before the event, dude. I don't know why it's like that.
That's where a lot of the
that doesn't even make sense.
Because I always see players do this same shit, the superstitions that come out at LAN events. Dude, like the MSMC is the best gun on the world on LAN. Like it was trash on LAN, but on LAN, killing everybody. I'm like, and it's same at every event. Like you'll see people coming out of this go, I didn't know we had to use X gun. We should always use X gun, and all of a sudden that becomes the meta. Like that'll happen because it's like once you get to that event, there is no atmosphere like it.
What dude said in the chat, Bryce, is straight facts. I've cast this game so much already, I still don't know. Call outs are so hard.
Yeah, because the thing is, on previous games they had like the names of the hills, didn't they?
Yeah,
so, like, it was because I think having that in there was great for us because then we can call that and that's what it says, and then people can follow it. But then now it's like shit, that's not in there. Like they've been rotating the hills, and I'm just like fucking saying what I see. Like
and he's walking around the sidewalk next to the bricks.
Yeah, he's on the road next to the pillar, and it's just like. Yeah, just coming up with stuff. I think I wish they would put that back in because I think that was a really good feature.
Well, I've had this issue in years past because I played a lot of like GBs with Europeans, and I found out that, like the European call outs, the American call outs were different, and like even just some people you play with call things different. The Europe, go back to like Ghost, like they had a place called Study, and it was based after like the player from America pulling one before against the European team.
No, it was Swanee Box.
Was it? Yeah. Called that Study.
European call-outs are ass.
Wait. You see, I think it might have been you, Nameless. You see when you 1v3 Depsilon at Champs on Ghost? Yeah. And Swanee mantled on the bot.
Oh, yeah. That's
we called that Swanee after.
He mantled.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
That is a clip to go look up. But no, different map. There was a different map. I can't remember what it's called now, but there was a bit of it called Study where Study pulled off 1v4, and it was called Study for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But like that happens so much.
Well, those call-outs catch on.
Yeah.
Those type of ones.
So for a lot of the time now, like I do it as well. Like Nifty Infinity's just said it as well. Like P1, P2, P3. Because for me, like that works on the level of I'm going to describe it sometimes to give it more flavor as what it is, like whatever the building is, whether it's red or glass or whatever. But if you call out like P2, you instantly know on the map, it's the second point, it's over there. Like there's no confusion over that map or anything else. Especially like if you've got two maps with the same like red call out or something like that. Like if you're P2, you're always going to know if that map is P2, you're going to go there.
That's the safe way to do it because every single different.
Figure it out quick.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's gonna be hard. It's just harder for sometimes.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Tom because I think every different duo or every different caster is going to have like literally completely different call outs, and that's just going to confuse the shit out of the viewer because they'll be like, what are you talking about? Where are we? So hopefully we can
get your own call outs to become mainstream.
Yes, exactly.
I'll be calling everything Brice. See which one catches on. But no, I get it. Like going into the first event's interesting from both players and talent point of view because you can cast this game. Like I said, it's just such a different atmosphere. Like it's so much more when you go into this game and try to think. Because we're gonna also the caster's gonna not know something. Like the player could be doing something because I've had this happen. You could be calling something out from the best that you know, but a team is doing something either you haven't seen before or they're doing something a little bit unusual, and you have to try and figure out why they're doing what they're doing as it's going on because you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's the game goes on through the air, doesn't it? Like we'll see things develop, but I'm interested to see what sort of call-outs you come up with in Vegas. Bloody hell, we're going to be sitting on that desk and you're going to come up with something. I just know it. But yeah, there's it'll be something we figure out after the first event. Everybody will call it the same thing on thingy, hopefully anyway. Yeah.
All right, well let's put a pin in that one for now and go on to our last subject. So it's something that we've we've kind of alluded to in previous podcasts, but not something we've really talked about. The reason I want to talk about this is I'm seeing a lot of players doing it, and we did mention it earlier. Blackout tournaments and wagers seem to be all the rage.
Dude, I play that shit all day.
And got roasted the other day.
It's the new S&D wagers, right? It's the new S&D wagers.
That grenade onto the
blackout
chopper,
wagers.
I was
Bro,
wetting myself. Oh, it was so
Wait,
funny.
hold on. Did you guys see what happened to me today? Do we have the
Nah.
ability to pull?
Oh wait, I just saw
Link it in the chat,
everyone's
it's pretty
favorite
best.
news. I've just seen
Oh,
everyone's
just
favorite
look it
news
up.
site.
Bro,
tweet
hold
out.
on, no, don't give them a view. Here, look at it. They get enough. I'm linking in the chat, bro.
Yeah, link it in the chat.
Oh, message deleted.
All right, hold on.
Hate to see it.
Hold on.
Hit me with the Modskis.
We'll put that in
There
there.
you go.
I haven't seen this one, dude. I'm
There you
loving
go.
Blackout right now. I want more tournaments.
Dude,
Let's have
if
a
there's
look.
blackout tourneys, dude, that's what I'm grinding blackout. There's blackout tourneys. I want to reserve the right to cast all blackout, dude.
Dude, I have
That
played
thing is
non-stop.
so lit, dude.
Let's
Oh,
see.
I
I'm watching
love
it now.
blackout. All right, linked it, dude. Everybody check that out right now. Bro, Reedy, you play blackout a lot or no?
Yeah, well, I
Bro,
don't
look at
remember
how that guy
any-
kills me. What?
Yeah. That's actually
Oh,
incredible.
Oh wow.
He was down, dude. Mind blowing.
It was-
Chat. No, so before that play happened, I downed 2 people and I shot another guy twice with a sniper and he ran away. So I went over there to just end the guy to bait the other guy out before he could heal. And the guy just gets up off the ground. Disbelief. dude.
Yeah, and there was one.
Must just be the animation to it.
There was one somebody put in people beating down when they're on the floor, and I think I was in the normal game. Like things like that, though. Hopefully they get it fixed before Vegas. But
You guys think that that's good? Blackout wagers and stuff are good for.
I don't, that's the thing I was going to
competitive
bring up because, like, I'm convinced that some players become so good at S&D in the previous years by playing constant S&D wagers. Blackout is not the same game.
scene? No,
it
it's
is
not. It's
not the
completely
same
different.
game.
The guns shoot different. Like, dude, it's way different.
yeah, 100%. I think it's nice to just chill on though. Well, I say chill on. If you're playing wages and stuff, we see Temp and TJ playing for like $400 a piece, if not more. So it's
Well,
not-
last year. Oh, go ahead.
So is
Go
it,
on, man.
there's nothing like not stressful about that. Surely, like you just want to come and chill. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to watch. I'm just interested to see if they actually do much of blackout at the events and stuff. I was thinking they
I
probably
want
have
more.
something
I
in
want more
Vegas.
playing. Honestly, I cannot stop playing Blackout.
It's a bit stale now, man.
Really? No,
They
man.
need
I'm
a
running
couple
at
more-
40% win ratio. I'm good.
They
Pick it
need
back
a
up.
couple. They need a couple more updates. Like
They
that's
just
quite
announced it.
interesting.
They need a different maps. They need some more.
He's announced that they're
places
changing it.
on the map.
He's announced it. It
Oh,
was
okay.
announced today, I think, or yesterday.
They need to be actively updating the game, like the map and stuff like Fortnite does.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
thing.
I like-
People, Fortnite have set the bar, haven't they? That's the thing. Like they're changing it constantly, adding things in, so people expect the same sort of thing to come up. But they also have another game to manage at the same time.
I like the fact they've unlocked all the characters now. I've had some fun getting some of the characters. The issue I have is that the character thing should be more prevalent because it is kind of a big thing for people to do. Like you take Fortnite, when you go to the challenges, it's mad to get some of the challenges.
Yeah, you're right.
But you can actively go and get them. On this game, you have to hope something is there half the time. I think like the Seraph one was probably the
Mate,
best challenge I've
Sorry,
done.
that's the most annoying one because I was in a fucking $10 wager. I know it's only $10, and bang, it bopped by an annihilator. Fucking bullshit, man.
I got that by 2 pieces. It was the greatest thing in my life. I just banged 2 heads straight off with it and got it. But that's great. Like that's something in Blackout that needs to be there to
I
change
don't
the
want
game.
to wager, man.
But that's the thing when you're in wages. Like literally, you can roll into like
Well, the game is not made for wagers.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
of
it's
course not. But I'm just saying.
yeah, it's not made for.
Well,
But at
you
the same
say that,
time,
they just updated it so you can see the leaderboard.
yeah,
in-game,
but
so-
but now you could like the thing is with like any sort of battle royale, you can roll into 4 just absolute blokes sitting in a corner of a room, and then that's it. As Scraps calls them, it was the lads and dads just sitting in a room. You can run into them, or you can run into like people who are relatively decent at the game, and then it's just there's nothing really to stop you losing every single game you're going into. But it's
Well,
always
I
fun
just
to watch,
think that,
man.
like the thing with Blackout is the looting right now, right? They got to figure out a way to like. I feel like I'm never fully looted. Like there's never at one point in the game where I'm like in Fortnite or other BRs, like after like 20 minutes or not 20 minutes, Jesus, after like a couple minutes, I feel like I'm looted. But like this game, by the end of it, I'm still like, dude, I need some like nades. I need some shit.
There's no end game certain amount of stuff that you're pretty much
like I'm
guaranteed
running out of
yeah.
ammo. Like, dude, I don't know. There's just a lot of.
I think it's because of the way that the mechanics in Blackout work. Like if you think of it, how it works, like everybody's healing so fast all the time. So meds go like super rare. your armor, you can't get armor back. You have to hope you headshot them if you want another use of armor, because you can't get fresh right now. Although that was announced in the update.
What was it?
Funny enough, our favorite news site's come to it again. Dexerto. So he's currently talking about possibly being able to repair your armor from dead people.
Yeah.
Like, at least patch it up to give you some
Yeah,
sort of armor.
that's what those armor plates should do that you pick up, but instead it's a challenge.
Dude, I was so upset when I found out that's what that was. I was like, I got a character. Why can't I repair my armor?
Yeah.
Why is it not working?
Because armor there is a certain amount at the beginning of the game, and that's it. Other than what drops in the drops, but they're very, very rare, of course. So other than what is on the floor in the game, that is it. So you can't like carry extra of it to then put it back on if you lose some. Like so in Fortnite, you can carry shield, but then at the same time you have shield. You can't do that in Blackout, of course. And there's so many times I'm running over level 1 armors, and I'd rather have that than a grenade or something like that. So maybe being able to pick up armor and re-equip it and that sort of thing would be something.
Being able to like make a makeshift or something might be something they could explore. I don't know. It's just right now it's really fun, but there's a couple things that they can improve.
100%.
I still want to see a pro player Blackout game. Like you imagine
Just
all the players, all the pro
God,
teams in
that'd be
there, man. Like
crazy.
just in. Like you can get 16 teams pro teams, all the 16 pro teams in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's gonna be a full lobby, but like that's gonna be so good. Can you imagine like just watching that? In fairness, no, you could if you take the 16 pro teams, because there's gonna be a player left over from each team, right? Because it's 4v4s. They can go into like a mix scrub. So like I just want to see it. I don't know. It'd probably be the same as some other like BRs, right? Where it's like a heal off or people are hiding. But you can't tell me you wouldn't be excited.
You can't have a heal off because you're limited heals unless you're like super looted.
Like you can't tell me you're not going to enjoy watching like pro teams running around that map.
It'd be incredible.
No other BRs had like a pro thing ready for it. They've had the pro scene kind of come up here. We're going to have automatic like history pros running around that map, like big plays. It's going to be so good. Like you tell me you're not going to see like 100 Thieves and FaZe like facing off around some place and then come MV like as a third team, like sniping from a hill. You tell me that's not going to be exciting? Like seeing like awesome. Players go out.
I just don't think when money's on the line in that, I just don't know how you prevent camping in Blackout.
Yeah. I think the thing is though is like Fortnite have done the whole lots of money
you're
on the
gonna
line.
you low-key end up getting a lot of kills by camping in Blackout. Yeah. It's just like the way it's played right now.
Mm-hmm. But like
camping at the end of the circle, because so many people are just running out of the circle. Like when the first one, everybody's coming out of the zone. I feel like that's where I get all my kills. I just like wait sometimes, and it's just so many people coming out of firing range on the edge of the circle.
I do the trick where you just pick a direction, you go left or right on the circle, and just keep going. Like if you go, you just go left or right and follow it, and you get so many kills because you just find everybody.
There's people camping in the gas now because it doesn't do that much damage, and there's so many hills you can pick up. You can literally camp in it, and it completely catches people off guard. It happened to me today. I was playing some with like Swanee and that, and then there's some guy literally just sitting in the gas on the edge, waiting for people coming out, but he wasn't outside of it. He's in the gas because obviously you're walking through. You're not expecting anybody to still be chilling there. And you get caught out by them. It's a legitimate tactic people are doing now. I get it, but they need to increase the level of that you get ticked when you're in the gas, I think.
Do you think pros would be up for, like, even if it's just a one-off exhibition, like a blackout day or something along those lines?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and the thing is, it'll be good advertisement. That's the thing. That's what Fortnite have done. They have basically put prize money on the line, yes, but at the same time, all it's been is basically like a show of Fortnite. It's not necessarily got that much competitive integrity about it. Like battle royale games don't. Full stop. It's very difficult to make it fully fair for everybody. So it doesn't have that competitive integrity. So you just have to do it as like a, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's
exhibition.
It's like an exhibition, but just use it as a marketing tool. I think that's what they should do, and it'd be fun for everyone to watch. It'd be fun for casters to get involved. It'd be fun for players to get involved. Could you imagine like casters teams dropping in and stuff like that into a map with all the pros and things like that? It'd be a good thing to do. I think you do that instead of doing the All Stars match that we sometimes seen. They just have a big blackout.
Yeah, but the issue being is like blackout's like a lot.
Oh yeah, I know it's a lot more, but like at the same time,
100 is
in theory it would be better. So I'm saying.
Also, someone just pointed out, like Infinity pointed out again, like there is no spectator mode.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's the killer.
Yeah, I'd imagine they'll put it in. Just ask for them. I'm sure they'll put it in.
I beg for it.
Yeah. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, maybe going off topic a little bit, I think Codcast is a little bit cluttered. Personally.
I haven't even used it yet.
Oh, yeah, I've tried to use it. It's I think there's a couple of things broken.
Actually, I have used it a lot. The mini map is crazy. It's so small to me.
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
There's a few things that
that
need fixed.
Because I cast a lot off the minimap, like a lot.
Yeah, it's really small.
Some people do.
maybe for you guys, it might be fine. For me, I can't tell. Like, it's hard for me to tell what's going on sometimes.
Do you? Because I don't. Some casters do this, some don't, and people already don't realize. Do you cast? And actually, a lot of pro players I speak to do this. They look at the minimap rather than the actual gameplay.
Well, yeah,
I was spectating.
I just you should see my eyes when I'm playing. I look like a freaking maniac. I just look like top left and then back of my screen like over and over. I'm pretty much staring at my minimap. Anytime I spawn, I'm staring at my minimap like the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
hopefully that gets fixed. I mean, we're not the ones that have to deal with actually changing it over. I mean, obviously that's the Observers, Paradox, and Fike and all those guys. So I just hope that there's a couple of things that they could change. I don't know, hopefully they do before Vegas, but I think it was something Jess tweeted out the other day that holy shit, has Vegas not like crept up on us? Like I was like, the game was out 2 seconds ago and suddenly Vegas is here already. It's just really, really come very quickly, and suddenly we're basically a week away. And I don't know where the first couple of months have gone, but
yeah, then we're
already,
gonna get there and it's gonna go by so fast.
oh man, it did last year. Like every single event, I literally remember being in Dallas. And now we're here for a new game. It's crazy how quick the years go.
Okay, fair enough. Just quickly, as a side thing, questions in the chat. We're now taking questions in the chat. That is pretty much the end of the show. So we'll take some quick questions from people in chat before we end. But going on about this, just so you're aware, I was just doing some quick calculations because I'm also not great with maths. 68 players is how much if you took all of the pro teams and put it in there, which allows you put in like 5 or so easily.
Brice, can we bring Joe?
I'm going to do. I'm trying to get Joe to do wages. By the way, there's a player called Joe I play with who is, from what I can tell, if I didn't know him, I think he was cheating. He just literally carries me to it. I have a 40% win ratio in Blackout simply because of him.
Mostly because of him.
Yeah, but no. So like you could, if you did a Blackout Pro circuit or pro event or whatever you want to call it.
But did you say 68?
Yeah,
No, there's 5 people on every team
5
now.
people now.
Yeah,
So 80.
I have done this wrong.
Yes, you have. I was thinking, how the hell have you got a 68 when there's teams of 5?
Yeah, you could take all the pros and put them in a
Yeah.
blackout and it'd be
Yeah, you
lit.
could. It'd be 80. It'd be great. Are you all right there, Bryce?
You
You figured
I
it out
messed
yet?
up somewhere. I don't even know where I've messed up. I've messed up somewhere.
I don't know. I had 16
I'm
times
ill.
5.
I'm ill. I'm just gonna accept it.
Right.
Yeah, no, I did it wrong.
No, you're wrong.
I'm a moron. You're right. So it's 80. So you technically could probably get a couple of teams in there because I think it's So squads right now is like 100. So you could still get 5 teams in. There you go. That's where I'm wrong. You can get 5 like streamers, influencers, whatever's there who think they can mix it up with the pros, and it would be so watchable. Could you imagine like 5 YouTubers teams or streamer teams or whatever it is, and the 16 pro teams going at it?
That'd be amazing.
It would be honestly, the viewership would be so high. But again, it's a logistical thing. It's not easy to broadcast. You have to have 100 people connected. It's asking for failure. But I would still love to see.
Yeah, because if one dude lags out, it's just a fiasco.
Yeah, and obviously, pros really keep their calm in those situations. All right, let's go to the questions now coming in from everybody. First question is very interesting. Tunn, Brice, and Reedy, what do you think about Nameless's comments that Rec are too slow with Tommy and Wuskins?
All right, I disagree. When you said Tommy was slow, I did disagree with that. I will say, and I don't think Tommy's slow.
Okay, I think he's slow. Oh.
I disagree, but I know why Nameless said it.
Did weed get legalized in Columbus or something? What's good over there, bro? What you doing over there, brother?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna back up Nameless here.
Well,
or at
Wuskin
least-
plays in slow motion, so
Wuskin's a slow AR, don't get me
Wuskin
wrong.
is, yeah.
But
and Tommy's not a speed demon.
Tommy, you gotta remember, like Tommy's not Jerd. I'll give you that point. It's not the same.
Dude, Tommy
also
plays like me, dude. He's not super fast. He's not slow.
I think Tommy's quick enough. I think, like, he is a sub player. I think he's a counter player as well. He likes to kind of counter the enemy team and what they're doing here. He's not like, I think you remember, like, you've seen him play with like some ballistic SMGs, and I would say he isn't the fastest SMG, but he's still a good SMG.
I mean,
so he's
heck, he
always
was
going to have
running-
that pressure.
Tommy at best is like as fast as Enable.
I need a regain.
No, I think he's quick, but I do understand where you come from. But at the same time, I think that reciprocity team are going to gel well. I think when you looked at the start of the year,
I mean, the other 4 guys are lucky I called him out on it, so it'll speed up his gameplay now. So.
but he was
Otherwise,
running.
they were.
He was running Ruin, I think, but I think Zed is taking over that.
What?
Now. No, he's not now. He's not now.
Tom was the.
He was the grapple?
Yeah, that's what
They
I
are
blasted, brother.
screwed, bro.
He's
Nah,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. He needs to be their Tempest. He would be nasty with that.
I think no. Tempest is Shawnee. No, it's just Shawnee.
Dude, give Shawnee Crash.
Whoa, come on, bro.
Shawnee's nasty, my guy, but like, to be honest, he's not going off of the Tempest. Tommy would.
Yeah, it's true. I can see Tommy play there.
Tommy is like the best shot on that team outside of what?
Who do you reckon Red Reserves crashes?
Probably.
Oh, actually,
wait, hold on. Probably Bance, right?
Oh, bro, come on, man. Put some respect on.
Well,
Benzema
I feel like Joe's got to be the ruin, right?
Nah.
What's he? The Crash?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the other way around.
No,
I
fucking
think Trey is Ruin.
Trey's run.
Yeah.
See, I was going to call that. I was like, nah, it's got to be a Trey thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a Trey thing.
He likes flying at people, doesn't he?
What
Just
does Scraps run?
Tempest, and he's fucking filthy with it, mate.
What is Raiden?
Pulse.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like you could go either way, but yeah, you could see Scraps being absolutely disgusting with the Tempest. Didn't he run it in Black Ops 3? Isn't one of his big clips in Black Ops 3 running the Tempest?
So
Don't get me wrong,
wasn't it the
different thing, but still.
Yeah. Wasn't it his first event at the EGL?
I don't know. I just remember him running. I just remember running. It was a flag run, and he just went berserk with it. All right, well, let's move on because we're getting off there. People asking about Miles for Vegas. You'll have to ask Miles for that one to find out what's going on. Here's a good one. Who is everybody's dark horses for Vegas?
Splice.
Splice. Well, actually, no, wait. I'm going to say Red Reserve because no one's gassing them.
No, I've gassed them.
I just don't know.
You're Tunny, so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Nameless, what do you think about this? Because it has.
I mean, I don't have a dark horse. I just think LG is gonna pulverize every team and win.
Fucking dragons.
They're winning this event.
No.
What do you think about the accusation that people are overlooking Red, Nameless?
I think it's. I don't know if people are overlooking them or if they just haven't seen anything.
I've seen people with they're not in the top 5. Which
how are you supposed to like say this team's gonna win if you haven't even been able to watch them at all?
But it's hard to say that for who's going to win it all anyway, because not for me.
A couple of 2Ks, man. Like that's it.
Yeah, you can just base it on talent, but then you just don't know how the teams are in this game. It's so difficult. It's one of the most difficult events to predict. It's the first game of the year. We haven't seen Europeans against Americans, so we don't know where everyone stands. Nobody's actually got a clue. I don't think. I haven't got the Scoobies of who's going to win the event. Not a clue.
Dark horses.
I'll tell you right now, LG's going to win.
Really? I don't know.
He seems confident, man.
I mean, I know, like,
I've had a vision. Listen, Reedy, something has went wrong.
I know.
Win, bro. Imagine sitting down across the main stage and looking across and seeing foremost and then Classic and Slack. That is the squad.
Oh man,
they're not, dude. They're gonna be 48 hours no sleep by Sunday.
So fucking factual. Oh, crying.
Oh man. Right, I'm gonna just chime in and say I can see Splice. I'm also tempted to say Mad Cat's team. I think people are unsure of for various reasons, which we have covered. So one of those, I think, would be my dark horse.
I'm sticking with Splice, 100%.
This next question is a bit weird.
Before you guys continue, if everybody says Splice, they're not a dark horse. Just so
that's true. That's very true.
Basically, this team's my dark horse, realistically.
Yeah, but I feel like they've been gassed to mad. It's not like a dark horse to me is like someone who is overlooked or overlooked when people usually talk about the top teams. Like people have been gassing Spacey's team so much. There's the biggest spotlight on them. They're not so much of a dark horse as some sort of white unicorn that people expect to ship rainbows when it comes to tournaments. So,
the thing is that puts me off that team is the fact that Ghost Gaming looked really good at World War II online, and I think Chance and Spacely were on that team, and then they got into pools, and I don't think they won a game. I don't think they
hold
won
on,
the
real
whole
quick. Let me interrupt some and say this to Rated in the chat for the absolute dumbest statement I've ever seen in my life. What does winning your group have to do with winning the event? Teams win an event without winning their group all the fucking time.
I think
I get what he was trying to say, but like that was just a dumbass statement.
I think you say they aren't even going to win their group, let alone win the event.
Yeah, but he tried to rationalize it by they're not even going to win their group. How can you say they're going to win the event? Like what? That has nothing to do with winning the event. So many teams win the event and get second in their group. So many teams.
I don't think that. Anyway, go on.
All right. Well, let's move on before we get argued between Rated and
We're up at the next event.
It's been much just a cause of a ruckus in Vegas. Right, I've actually lost my position because I scrolled down to find that. Right, Heretics' ability to make the league and their potential at Vegas. I mean, they did okay last year. Like they can come out and surprise a few people,
It's
but
looking slow.
Do you think? Because I mean, they look
I think
good
it's
online.
for
Wait, for who?
Heretics.
I'm sorry, yeah, but
I don't even know who's on here. Journey, right? Didn't they sign somebody to 2022?
That was Metals, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the ultimate finesse I've ever seen.
But I don't know. They've looked all right online, but I don't know what you reckon, Jordan. You've been playing against them more.
back-to-back 2K winners, yeah, mate.
Yeah, well, you had.
They struggled to get over 100 points against us, mate. Fucking every map, awful team.
Well, where you been in 2K then?
Huh? What were you doing? They getting fucking forfeited by other Spanish pricks.
Jesus.
Tell us how you really feel.
Nah, but they're looking slow. I can tell you that for free.
Okay.
I don't even care if they're winning back-to-back 2Ks. Like they're winning 2Ks where teams are getting forfeited. Red ain't even playing in it, man. It's like literally an AM 2K, bro. Fucking they playing Wreck with Shane in the final, mate. Like, come on, man.
Wait, Shane's nasty.
Shane's fucking shit, mate.
Yeah, that's Reciprocity sub. By the way, I like the Reciprocity team, but who thought it was a good idea putting Shane in Vegas? Like, come on!
I think it's a great idea. I can't wait.
They should just allow him to have a camera and just see what he gets up to. Don't even follow the team around. Just follow Shane. Just follow Shane around and see what happens. Oh man, that is crazy for me. Right, let's move on. Favorite person to cast with? Reedy's cast with some people, so I don't know if you can answer.
Has
this
he?
one, but I'm sure Reedy did a cast once or twice.
Nah, have a fuck, mate.
All right, never mind. Nameless, what's up with you?
Well, first let me say this: I can't wait to cast. I want to be.
Are you casting?
I want to cast. They're gonna have to let me soon. Or it's a wrap for your boy, dude. They gotta let me cast.
We'll let you have Guy. Let Guy go back over there with you.
Yeah, I'll literally cast with anybody, dude. It doesn't matter who I cast with. I think I can cast with anybody. I enjoyed casting with Guy. I enjoyed casting with Ben. I enjoyed casting with Merc. Casted with Maven, but I was sick, so wasn't as fun. I was looking forward to it too, but it wasn't as fun as it would have been. Everybody's fun, dude. I like everybody in the talent group. Like, there's not one person I don't get along with. Literally, seriously, I could cast with anybody.
Yeah, I see that. Tom, what about you?
I would say probably Dick. We got along very well, and I'm glad he's back from his NBA days. Fucking what an idiot!
We were supposed to cast together, Tunn, at one event.
We were, and it's never happened. Never happened.
Yeah.
They don't. They didn't want to see.
Dodged the bullet, mate.
They didn't want to see the greatness. That was what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Dick from last year. I would say.
Dude, if you stood next to Nameless, you look like Slender Man, Tyler. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Man, I'm not a slender man anyway. I'm a slim.
You look handsome, bro.
I'm a slim guy.
Mine's probably like Rel. I'm just gonna put it out there, dude.
Get Rel back. Oh my god.
I can't help it. I've never not had fun with Rel.
My first cast of all time was with Brice. It was elite.
Yeah.
Wait, this was like 5 years ago. I didn't know shit about a fucking camera.
Like all that stuff that like when you become talented, you're like, oh shit, I never knew I should do that. I thought it was just talking. Like yeah, it is, but like there's talking and then there's.
All right, let me ask you guys a question and be honest. Who do you think you would be the best with? It's so hard to answer this without feeling like whatever, but everybody has their answer. So
It's difficult. It's difficult for me for the simple reason being is that I've always ended up in my career going from either play-by-play or analyst.
Yeah,
Like, I've done both so many times it hurts.
I like a mix, so I think probably Miles.
He's talking shit. He's talking shit. Ton's talking shit.
wait, I don't think you and Miles could cast together. Though.
Do you not?
No, because he's kind of like Miles doesn't really know the game to like an analytical point, and he's super entertaining, and you're kind of like that way too. Like you know it better than he does probably, but
yeah,
you're not sitting there breaking down scenarios.
No, that's true. I don't know. That's a hard question.
You said it earlier.
What?
Silverback,
yeah. Definitely Silverback.
No, it doesn't even have to be a caster. There could be like a player that's still playing.
Well, that's such a difficult question, man.
I'm gonna put this out here, and it's gonna sound really, really weird, but I actually really want to cast with Ben again because me and him haven't cast in about 4 years together.
Well,
it's too much British shouting.
Yeah.
Ben's good with that too because he like goes really hard to figure out the game.
Yeah. But I used to be his analytical side when he first started.
Yeah.
He used to be we used to cast a lot together, but I haven't done that in so long, so I'm interested to see how that works now. But yeah, that's interesting. Let's move on because we're trying to get through these questions.
Let's stop the questions. Let's no more.
How Red Reserve look? Reedy, have you played them?
Best team we played in Europe without a doubt.
That's all we need to hear from that.
Well, that was expected, to be fair.
Yeah. Most memorable thing we ever casted, I've said this about a billion times, it was Black Ops 2, Meltdown, Hardpoint. It stopped becoming a map for the reason of the last hill. And I can't remember the teams now. It's like TCM versus Insane or 4, something ridiculous. It was Tommy's team. It was mental. I-46.
Wait, I won that event.
Yeah.
Haha.
Yes, you did.
That was one of the ones, wasn't it?
Fried Swanee in the finals.
Not shocked.
Prof.
I'm trying to think what mine was. Probably something from last year, I would say. Shit, what was it? It was a casting one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sweet. I can go back to playing FIFA then.
Is that what you've been doing?
Yep.
It's been quiet.
Oh my god.
I can't remember. I think all of last year was really good. There were some really good games. That was it. Splice Optic from Birmingham last year when Splice knocked them out last map. And my mentions were just full of toxic Optic fans.
Do you know what the best game from last year was? A certain team being 2-0 up and then getting reverse swept, so they didn't make playoffs.
Oh, buddy.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh, Reedy, you're about to get some tweets, mate. You are about to get some tweets.
Ant was playing on that team.
We're not on about Optic. We're not on about Optic.
Oh, he wasn't on about.
No, he's on about when.
I don't even remember what you're talking about.
He's removed it from his brain.
All right.
Wait, what was you guys thinking about?
Yeah,
Bricey was thinking about Easy Optic.
I don't. I actually generally don't. I didn't watch last year. Last year was a blur to me.
Well,
yeah, last year was a blur to me too, low key.
Right, let's move on.
Wait, so who was it, bro? Like, you can't
he was on about the EG Optic
game.
He was on about the EG
Optic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when but that wasn't a reverse sweep.
No, right, it wasn't. I don't know why I thought that.
They got through.
I just assumed Reedy was going for something ridiculous. Changed my mind. Let's move on because we are trying to get through these. I don't want to take up too much people's time. Do you think observers should be announced as part of talent for each major?
100%.
I see no reason why not.
Yeah.
Especially since they're consistent now. Since we have consistent observers, I don't see a problem.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it also means that feedback can go to them if people want to change stuff or go different.
Yeah, I think they should. The thing is like they sit there and do as many hours as we do. So
yeah, I don't say problem. It also allows like if you see something to your observer, like message them on Twitter.
Yeah.
Say, look, I don't know this. I mean, admittedly, that's me saying, oh, you could say something like constructively. A lot of people are just hurl abuse because obviously. But over the years, I've seen some good observers. I've seen some bad ones, including people who are driving before. The worst one I ever saw was the French when they would refuse to let us watch anything but French from that point of view. You were at that event as well. Yeah. Worst thing I've ever seen. The amount of bias from a French caster.
They were literally the French were literally getting slapped around. Was it in the SWC, like the first one we ever did?
It's like Col. It's versus Col.
Yeah, and all we did was watch
French
Whalers go 4-26. It was fucking great. Anyway,
Worst thing I've ever seen. But yeah, it's an easy one, that one.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Top 5 EU teams right now. I'm not going to do the EU thing anymore because region locks are off, so I don't really see that as a. No one really talks about European teams as that anymore because we've got hybrids coming in.
Yeah, we need to just kill this whole best team in Europe anymore. I think because it's best team in the world or you're not. That's it.
We fucking talking about Red Am Record Gun. I'm the fucking best team in Europe. Order.
Jesus.
I don't know, man. Team Sweden look pretty good, Jordan.
Yeah, mate. Listen, I got some stuff to tell you about that team after.
Oh my god.
I actually have a question about the Sunny Bees team for you.
I mean, actually, Sunny Bees team's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are they sorted?
I mean, I ain't in my place to say.
Okay.
They're sorted or not.
All right, one last question now. I'll just quickly look for the last one. I did see it and I've lost it. Because there's a lot of the ones talking about the same things like predictions for the event and all that sort of stuff, and we've covered them to death. Tell you what, let's do predictions for the event then. Screw it. It's a terrible
It's
question.
so hard to do, though.
I
This
hate
is what
it.
I mean, Ant's going to say LG because he... I don't know why. But
That's fair.
It's just a fact, bro.
come on, Reedy, I'm interested.
What? Who wins the event?
Yeah.
I don't,
Oh no! You know what?
It's so dumb. It's such a dumb question.
I hate this question. We're gonna get a different question.
You can ask.
I found one. I like this question.
We can talk about predictions after
Who
this
would
event
be
for next
Who
events.
would be the best 1v1 pro player?
Ricky.
No. Fucking Joe Pinchington.
Joe, yeah.
Joe does not lose 1v1s.
Okay,
And,
interesting.
it's difficult, though, because 1v1...
By the way, if you're watching in the chat, feel free to put your player in here.
Yeah. It's so difficult, though, because...
Actually, I don't lose 1v1s, to be honest.
yeah, mine's will be Jordan Reed.
Really, you can't pick yourself for this one. I'm refusing to allow that. Some
Trying to
people are
think-
saying the obvious ones: Karma, Attack.
Yeah, people like that, you would say. Attached.
I'm gonna put Jerd in there. I think his name deserves to go in there. Jerd's a
You
lunatic.
love Jerd.
Joe, shit in 1v1 scenarios. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I'm just a big Jerd fan.
Just sees them, flies at them, see if it works. Yeah, I
A lot of
think...
people saying Karma. A lot of respect for Karma.
Yeah, well, Damon's Damon, though, isn't he? You expect him to win any situation he's in, I would say, so... You could say that.
Well, used to be, if we were going back, it used to be Crim. A lot of people would like Crim used to do that a lot.
But the thing
I'll
is
see
with
you saying
1v1s...
Burns.
The thing is with the 1v1s,
Fast
it's such a situational thing. Like, there is an element of luck to it every single time.
Imagine we had a tournament though, 1v1
Which is a
tournament.
1v1 tournament.
Yep, just 1v1s.
I gotta go Rick, dude, on that one, dude.
All right, I'll say Damon then. I'm just stealing the chat's answer because I don't really know.
It used to be Crim. I'm not sure if it's been that like that
Oh,
anymore.
mate. Listen,
You wait a couple of years. it was
hurry up,
Crim.
Bryce.
Next question.
Right.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
it?
all right. I'll tell you what. That'll do for this show. It's been about an hour and a half, and I don't want to get too stale. Right. First of all, thank you to our guests, Reedy, and of course Nameless, who came to join us. Appreciate that, Nameless. You are welcome any time you want to be. First of all, let's start off with you, the Nameless. Any shout outs? Anything you want to say to people watching?
Yo, peace out, guys.
Remember to tune into Nameless' stream. Streams pretty much every day from what I've seen at the moment.
Every day, dude, on the Grizzy, bro.
That's still twitch.tv/nameless, right?
Yeet.
Yeah, there we go. Reedy?
I'll be down Gfinity on Friday, so if anyone wants to pop in, great fucking place Gfinity is. Yeah.
Are you going to be full of me, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just trying to give Gfinity. yeah.
I'll also be there on Friday as well. Yeah, we don't need a... Anyway.
So will I.
He's such a dickhead. From my point of view, guys, keep an eye out for the Astro giveaway that we still got going on. That one will end in like 3 or 4 weeks. And as far as I'm aware, we don't have an episode next week because I haven't. Wow.
Just do it live.
We'll do it live on my phone when we're in Vegas.
Bring me a laptop and a webcam. That's all I need.
All right, you bring your laptop, then we'll do it.
Oh, God, I'll bring my laptop.
That's the
We just borrow
pressure.
someone's stuff. We'll just steal someone's stuff, it'll be fine.
Okay, we might have an episode. I would say probably not.
Well, you don't know. All right. That has been everything. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, thank you to our guests. And this has been a great episode. Hopefully you agree. Remember to leave a comment if you're watching this on the VOD. And we'll see you next time.